Well, hello for the second video on this radio. I've done a little bit of research since my initial checkout, and I was able to find it on Radio Museum by searching for the tube complement and Philips, the manufacturer. And so now I've very fortunately I've got a schematic for it, and it's called the Sonate BA581A. And it's German name, or pardon me, whatever country this is from, because I'm not exactly sure, is the Horny Fawn Maestro. The Horny Fawn. Not the best name for North America, I'm afraid. So maybe they changed it to the Sonate. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this guy out of his cabinet, and we're going to dust everything off and do a little more inspection. And we're going to look into this string problem and assess that. And I'm not anxious to pull these tubes out and test them. I'd be more inclined to inspect the radio and then bring it up on power and see what's going on. I'm really curious about this. What is this? There's something inside there. That's a very strange thing there. It's a really strange thing. It's almost as if it's something you would connect, maybe yes, maybe no. A real mystery to me just what the heck that is. Well, I mean, I can see what it is. It's a spring. But why in heaven's name would that be on there? You know, the knobs look just a little tricky here. Oh, that's not too tricky. Yeah, that came off pretty easy. Okay, one off. The other one comes off as easy. Now, you can see the locking screw on this one's been backed off. Not so much on that one. Trying not to take it all the way out here. There we go. The knobs are not identical. One is slightly longer than the other, so I'll have to keep that in mind when I put them back. I need a knob container, so for now I'll just set them here. I'll have to get a container for that, along with the piece of trim here that came off. Okay, if you can hear the thunderous roar from above me, that's cats running around through our house. A stampede of cats. So let's get the cabinet out of there. Let's get the chassis out of the cabinet. That's really what I wanted to say. It's very heavy on the right side where the transformer is. Yeah, look at that. It's that heavy on the right side. Wow. Big screw right there. Okay, let's get these knobs off the front. I got the screws out of the bottom. 4 screws. And I notice it's very, very typical of knobs. There's a screw in it right there. That's what's holding these front knobs on. Maybe there's another, yeah, there's another screw. That's what's going on here. 2 screws. You use 2 screws on a round shaft. There we go. Now that'll clean up really nice. That white piece in there is going to come up real nice, I bet. This guy's the same way. Screwdriver won't go down deep enough. That's pretty small. Let's give them a try. This screws are not very tight. This can be a scary moment with the radios, getting the knobs off. Some radios. There we go. No problem. Yep. Okay. So we got all 4 knobs off. Because the speaker is connected to the chassis, and I don't want to take the speaker out. I just want to pull the chassis out. Hopefully these wires are designed for that. They're long enough. They sure look like it. I should be able to bring the chassis out and swing it like this, which is very typical of European radios. So in order to get this guy out of the cabinet, I got more screws to undo. Way up high here. Way up in here. That guy, and this guy. Very similar over here. 1, 2, and 3. So let me take those guys out. Okay, so the last screw, as always, is not easy. Can't see it. They always like to put 1 screw in, but it's almost impossible for some reason. There we go. I got it out. Okay, let's see if it'll come out now. Holy smokes. Okay, it's out. There we are. Let's see what we got here. Here's the string, the broken string. Very lucky for me, I have the stringing diagram. Let's see. That one goes down around the shaft. And appears to drive a second string. It's like a gear arrangement, kind of, with this being the inner gear and this being the outer gear, and it's got this guy on it. So you know what? I think it's just the string drive that drives this. Oh, yeah, see? Doesn't sound very good. So that shouldn't be too tough to do. Put some new string on down here to the shaft, down into here. Yeah. So that may be the only thing that's going on with this set. Now that looks really strange. Look at this. It's like somebody's scraped away a porthole to look into the tube there. That's really stark. I mean, that's my guess as to what happened there. So I think we need to dust this guy off. I can see some dust down underneath too. So let's dust them off here. Maybe I'll have a chance to use my brand new air compressor, but we're going to use a vacuum first here. Let's see how far we can get with that. Well, we could use my air pump. Why don't we try that? Let's try it and see how it works. This is my vacuum. Bring over my compressor. What I don't want to do, I don't want to kick a bunch of dust up and get it all over my shop. That's what I'm worried about. So here's the perfect. That should work. So hopefully the vacuum can catch all the dust that's being kicked up by the compressor. Let's see. If this doesn't work, I'll go back to my usual way with a brush. So here goes the vacuum. Sorry about all the noise now. We'll get the loose stuff off first. I was going to vacuum out the cabinet, but there's so much junk in there, I got to pull it out, bits and pieces here, screws and stuff. Okay. A bunch of insulating washers. Oops. Not sure where those came from exactly. And I wonder if the last person working on it left those out, just left them laying in the bottom. And here's another one. Looks like they should have been spacers, where these screws were holding this pin. For some reason there's a pin in there. And then the rest looks like so much dust. So we'll just vacuum that out. This radio's got something that I don't think I've ever seen before, and that's the speaker has that covering on it there, protective covering. Really good idea, but like I say, I don't think I've ever seen it before. So there we are. The air pressure compressor seemed to help a bit, but I think I got a little more dust in the air in my shop now than I would have had I used the brush. Plus, you know, the brush has a little more mechanical power to it, so I'm gonna suck the dust out of these guys. And I should try drawing it out of these guys too, using the vacuum. Jump. Okay, brush wins hands down. Dust competition. There's certain places I can't get in with my brush, but there's other places this will blow, like underneath the capacitor. So I think that's the way we'll approach this from now on. It will be brush and then blow, and that will result with the least amount of dust floating around in my shop here too. Okay. Well, the chassis is in pretty good shape. Nice aluminum here. Nice and shiny. There we go. Missing one light bulb here. And on the schematic, it doesn't give the light bulb number, but what it gives is the rating of the bulb, 6.3 volts, 0.3 amps. And they're not all the same. I think I'm reading in German there, chassis hot. Here's where you plug in your Rundfunk. And right below it says gramophone. So I'm not sure what a Rundfunk is. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's look underneath this guy. Okay. Don't like how that is. I'm sure a much better way to set them down. Yeah. Take a look underneath. Okay. Right off the bat here. This item here, which appears to have been knocked loose, or I don't know what it is. There's a wire right here that's looks like a coil. Doesn't go anywhere. So, and it looks like it's kinked here, so it looks like this has been broken off somehow. Don't know how exactly. Oh, there's some parts in here that I've never laid eyes on before. These guys here. Those guys. There's the wire I was talking about. This wire here. Looks like it should have been connected over here somewhere. Just judging from this bend in it and the look of the rest of the chassis here. I'll have to do a little vacuuming and dusting down in here. Well, nothing's really popping out right now, except for that weird thing I've already pointed. Here's a couple more of these parts. They certainly look like adjusters. They could be coils, maybe. It's like you adjust them, and then it looks like they've been gooped up with wax or something. Keep you off them after that. In fact, all these adjustments are waxed in, every one of them. And the fact is, in most radios, you really don't need to adjust any of this stuff if everything else is working well, because the adjustable components are usually adjusting for something else that's quite fixed, capacitor or coil or something like that, which really doesn't change much. I mean, capacitors do change, I have to admit that. But like I say, if you've got all the right size capacitors, then. So let's do a little more vacuuming here. Whoa, quick. So what I don't want to do is knock dust all over my shop. This would be a good place to use the compressed air in the end. So we'll go once over with the brush and then we'll blow it. That's a little odd, a little airborne component there. I think there's a whole bunch of them in here. This guy's looking a little funny up in the top here. Okay, so I think I discovered the right way to use compressed air, and that's dust her off with a brush first and then apply the compressed air. Very good. Now let's see if we can get this thing just set a little more securely here on my bench. That's a little better. Not sitting on any weak parts. It's good. That's good. Okay. Well, the only thing curious that I've seen is this thing going on up here. So I think we're going to try to find this on the schematic. So I studied the schematic. You know, it's in German, and I think the part I'm curious about is in here somewhere. Could be this thing right here. Could be that coil. I only say that because it seems to be a coil to nowhere, but I think that's a switch. How they're showing a switch there. I don't really know. I don't know how to read their schematics exactly here. That's the only thing I see, but you know, I don't feel sure at all about what I'm seeing here. So we got a good view of it. Let me put some paper behind it. There. There it is. It looks like it's a coil wound on a piece of heavy, that could be copper. I can't really see what's going on at this end here, the free end. If they've in fact soldered the free end back to the core piece. You can see how the core piece is soldered there. So I think this is some kind of a coil. And it's bent either because it's been damaged, because this whole piece here looks like it should have two screws right in there. Oh, I don't see a screw hole. Oh yeah, there's a screw hole. So it looks like a screw fell out and this guy rotated, or maybe the rotation is somebody, maybe that's an adjustment. I don't know what to make of it. Now this hole is kind of weird. If I get down under it here, what the heck is going on in there? What is that? That looks like another spring or a really lousy coil. Let me point to it. I'm hoping one of you can tell me what this is. So down underneath, this is a coil here, and then it has this spring-like thing going on here. Ooh, it's very sensitive. It's just wire, and we're back to this strange arrangement here. And the whole thing, you know, is like an afterthought. It's put on this little plate here, and almost like it could have been some kind of, I don't know, I often imagine they build these things and, you know, produce 100 or so and then decide, it's not working so good, and they start adding stuff like this to compensate for things. I don't really know. But, I'm thinking we can turn this guy on. See what happens. So what do you say? What do you say we do that? Okay, so to turn them on, I don't have the power cord, so I have one of these made up. A cheater, if you like. And we're going to connect that in down here. Okay, that looks pretty good. off right now. Okay, so we think that control is one thing. This control is another. This one appears to have the switch on it. So we'll turn them both into the supposed off position. There we go. And this is tuning. This is band selector. So this is probably volume. But this one may be volume too. Can you even see what I've got in my hand? Yes, you can. So we're going to start her up on lots of... we're going to restrict the power quite a bit at the start here because we don't know what we're getting into. I did not see a fuse anywhere in this radio, so that's an important thing to realize. Let's hit the switch here. Okay, so I quickly looked at my light. There it is. It's not on because the set is not on. This light back here. That's the one we want to watch. That should come on fairly bright and go dull fairly quickly when I turn the switch. So here we go. 3, 2, wait a minute, I already turned it on. Well, that's definitely not the on-off switch. Or the on-off switch is on-off switch. If that's the on-off switch, it's busted. Let's try the other one. You got absolutely nothing. So another thing I'm watching, that's my line voltmeter there. When I turn the set on, if it draws power, that meter should drop right off the scale. And you see absolutely nothing happening. Okay, so I got a problem right off the start here. She doesn't want to go at all. Well, let's start a little troubleshooting here. Don't forget now, the power's on. Pretty tight in here with the big cabinet. There's my meter at the back there, which I'm hoping you can see. And it's on the AC scale, so we'll start right where the power's coming in, right here. There I see 121. That's exactly what's reading on our line voltmeter. Okay, so got one red wire here and a black tube carrying the other wire, and this third wire's in that tube too. Appears to be coming up on the other side of the transformer, which I have the radio kind of sitting on right now. So let's go over here and check what looks like on-off switches that aren't working right in here. Nothing there. Oh, there's 121 volts right there. Nothing there. $121 volts there. Okay, switch is on now. Oops, gooey. 121 volts still across the switch. That's what it looks like to me. The switch is quite exposed in here, and I didn't see any mechanical movement when I operated this. Didn't see any movement up here, so I had the feeling the switch is mechanically broken. Okay, so to work on that, we're going to cut off the power, pull out the plug. And we have to take a good close look at that. Okay, so here's the switch mechanism. Again, it's very foreign to my eye. I've never seen anything quite like this. It looks like there's a... Oh! That was kind of interesting. Boy, that would strike me as being the off position, and it strikes me it was in the on position. It looks like you switch on and switch off. So maybe a little lubrication in there might do the trick. Okay. I'm having some trouble finding places to put my camera, so my camera is right on top of my knees to get this. So I applied some contact cleaner in there, and it started to almost work. So I'm going to put a little bit of lubricant. Ugh. Isn't that terrible? Yeah. There we are. The switch is now working. But the problem is, it was stuck in the on position. Stuck in the on position. How come the radio didn't come on? It's possible the contact was bad in here. So we're going to try it again. And we'll see what happens. I'm going to put you up here in case. Not a good idea to have my camera on my knee when I might have to jump and run for it. It's always exciting when we try these guys. Okay, so I'm plugging it back in. The power's off. Okay, armed my system now. And this switch is off. You can see the contacts are open. So we'll apply power. And we're getting full line voltage, 123 at the moment. Okay, I don't want my hand so close to that, so I'm going to remove the power, turn the switch on, apply the power. Well, let's watch this. Along with the excitement down here, we'll watch the line voltmeter. That's really the main thing. It goes up to 120 and sits there, and we're no good. Here we go. There it is, right up full again. And you can see those contacts are closed. So the next thing in line is the power transformer, unfortunately. So I think I'm going to have to study the schematic here a little bit and just see where we might have, maybe there is a fuse hidden away in there somewhere. Don't see one. That might be one right there, right above my thumb. We'll have to hunt that guy down. He's on the other side of the radio, unfortunately, buried right now. So far, so good. Right away. And it's the mystery spring. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing when I look at the transformer here. This spring that I noticed earlier, it's off. The hook here. I probably knocked it off when I was moving the radio around. You can see inside it is a wire. And so it really does look like it's an electrical connection. This and up here, this looks kind of weird too. There's a wire here that's been cut or broken away, right here. And these two look like they're the same thing, but how come they would be shaped like that? Why would there be... You know, this looks like it's been bent down. And that would explain why the spring is not stretched out at all. So I'm taking a wild guess that this is some kind of fuse system here. I don't know what to make of it, but I think this should be bent up. Maybe this is supposed to be soldered into here. I don't know. I don't get it. I'll see if I can find that on the schematic.